got everybody healthy, got her spayed, and then adopted her and adopted out the pups.
We have a foster dog right now, and I'm afraid that I'm not gonna be able to let her go.
Well, if you do, you need another dog. I got one for you.
Well, listen, I would have
I gotta
Five
go. If I need a Doberman.
I would have 5 bazillion dogs. Like, I love them.
She's my last one because I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, that, I told you about us having
Yeah.
in our town, and that was really hard.
Yeah.
Really, really hard. It's like, I don't like this. It's not a good feeling.
I've been through enough that my heart can't handle it.
Yeah.
So let's open up in prayer, and then we'll get going and talk about all this. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day and for all these people who want to learn how to cook and how to preserve and how to get deeper knowledge into food, things that our grandmothers knew and our great-grandmothers knew, but there was a gap. And Lord, I'm trying to stand in this gap and fill that and teach people for the next generations. Father, thank you for your love and your provision and your protection. And I ask that you put a hedge of protection around this group today, that you open their hearts and their minds and all their knowledge senses so that they can learn, and I really enjoy all of it. And thank you so much for this time. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so we have themes, because to have a group, we have to tie it to church. So, I do. Can you read that for me?
I had to go through them because you like write in the first page of everything.
I know.
Same.
Anyone?
Please.
Anybody else? I can get more. Okay.
Grab a couple pens.
One more. Toss one more round.
Pen.
He's
gotta get one.
gonna
Oh,
grab
okay,
one.
he's getting one.
Kevin's taking care of this.
Okay, so we do
Okay,
this.
Genesis 6:21. You are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away as food, for you and for them. Psalm 65:11. You crown the year with your bounty, and your carts overflow with abundance.
Right. So preserving food and learning all this stuff, this is biblical. And so we are doing God's work when we learn this stuff. And so when you do learn, spread that knowledge, because no one knows. And how this all started, years ago, I was dumb at 18 and got married, and my husband was in the Army, and we moved to Germany, and he was an E2. That means they make no money. And so I grew up with a single mom who worked 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. She didn't teach me anything. So when I moved to Germany, and I'm thinking, oh, well, no problem. I've got this, I'm 18, I'm an adult now. I knew how to make TV dinners and pot pies, and that was it. And so at the end of the money, there were still days left before payday, and there was no food in the house. And it would be up to 3 days before there was food in the house. And so what I would do is I would have my husband go work for one of his friends. They got a free day off. They thought it was great. And they lock you up on the tax site for days, and then they feed you. And so one of us got to eat, but I didn't. And so in Germany back in 1983, Satan thought he was funny and brought a plague of gnats. So I'm sorry. I can't seem to get rid of them.
They're everywhere.
They're really
Yeah.
everywhere.
So eggs were 33 cents a half dozen. I didn't have 33 cents. And so I would take note of what I had in my pantry. There was some flour, there was maybe some baking soda that mom probably sent me, and some sugar. And I would go to the library on base and go through the cookbooks to find out what can I make, because I boiled beef. Mom said add a little water to the pan. Well, little is subjective. I added a little water to the pan and boiled it. And we had to eat that for a week and gag it down. It was horrible. So being hungry for so many months gave me an interest in learning how to cook. And then during 2000, remember everybody thought that the world was going to end when the computers changed over? My sister's church was teaching classes. We need another paper for Dallas, please.
I'm videotaping the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during the millennium, everybody thought that the world was gonna end. So my sister's church was teaching classes in her basement on like rifles and wound care. And they had me come and teach like bread and butter, which you're gonna learn in 2 weeks. And so I started teaching then, and then I started teaching in my home some. And then I moved here in 2021, and I had foreign exchange students, and their friends would come over, and they were always hungry. And I'm like, why are they always hungry? And so I would make bread, and they'd come through the door chanting, bread, 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 right? This like marching soldiers. And I asked my friend, my kids that were here, I said, you know, look in their pantries, look in their fridge, do they have food in their house? And they didn't. And so I talked to the kids, and I'm like, what's going on? Why don't you have food at your house? They said, well, we have takeout boxes from somebody's leftovers from last night. I'm like, that's like dumpster diving. Their parents don't know how to cook. And so I'm like, okay, people have to learn. And so that's how this started. So today we're going to start with water bath canning. And we're going to start with equipment. And I have extra equipment out to explain some things. I have some water here that's already hot because that takes time. But a typical water bath canner looks like this, okay? It's cheap. You can find it at different stores. They used to come, they might still, come with racks like this.
They do not.
They do not. Like this, and dang it, I had one more that you fit the cans in and it's molded. And I stuck it back outside. I thought that one of these was one of them. But they didn't work for like little ones, you know, because that doesn't take up a lot of space, and it held like 4 jars, larger jars. So what they have now is these to put in the bottom, because when you're going to water bath can or pressure can, you don't want to have your jars sitting directly on the bottom. They will break. So
Question already. Mine are silicone. Does that matter?
I'm gonna get there in a second.
Oh.
So you just stick one in the bottom. So what happens if I'm doing, here's little jars, and I'm putting little jars in, and I've got all this space. What you can do is you can stack them, and you can stack them. So what happens if I have them in here, they're washed and they're staying hot, warm. So I need to put one of these in here because I don't have one yet, because I'm going to show you. When you open this, always open with the opening at the back so that you don't get steamed in the face. And that's just going to go down. So what happens if you don't have this set up and you still want to can? Anyway, please.
I know the answer to that. We come to Lisa's house.
No, it's even better than that. So I'm done with this. What if this is all you have? You have a Dutch oven and you want a can. You can put some rings in the bottom. Brilliant. So that the jars sit on those. Or you can use a towel. Anything so that the jars don't sit on the bottom. The rule is when you're water bath canning, you have to have enough room for 1 to 2 inches of water at the top to cover it. So if you were doing these little tiny jars, which is like a 1/4 pint, 4 ounces, that would fit if you want to just do a couple. You can do it in this. You don't have to have this set up. Okay, that's the end of that one. One of the things you want to always do, you don't have to, but I'm going to tell you, you want to. See how white that is inside? That is mineral buildup. And that happens on your jars also, and it does not come off. So what you do to prevent that is white vinegar. So if your grandma's canned and you're like remembering a vinegar smell, this is why. You just put a splash into the water and you're good. And now you won't get that mineral buildup. I know, This is
Vinegar
the one
good for
thing.
Everything.
huh?
Vinegar is great for all the
Everything,
things.
all the things. I use vinegar in my laundry all the time, so I would have just used this, but I wanted to show you. And then this is also vinegar. I got this at the Dollar Tree.
Mhm.
It's for nail polish
Yeah.
remover. You know, you just push this and it squirts up. And so this is what I do when we're gonna use it for wiping the rims. So
Oh,
this,
good idea.
and it's just so convenient. So that's vinegar. So yeah, you wanna put vinegar in. If you don't, everything will still work fine. It'll just look ugly. I am living proof. If you come across this is a steam canner.
Discovered those.
Steam canners?
I just discovered them, yep.
So, you can use it as a pot if you need to use a pot. But as a steam canner, the water and the jars go in the bottom here, and you don't have very much water. They come with directions. It works basically the same way. When they first came out, there was a lot of controversy. When I went through the Master Food Preserver course, they had just come out saying, yes, these work. They had done enough testing that these are acceptable. So if you come across one, and I would recommend you go to thrift stores, don't buy new if you can help it, because this stuff is so expensive. I think one of those pots is like $40, and I probably got it for $5.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen them at thrift stores all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always
Pick
in
them
the
up.
thrift store.
Pick them up. Next week will be pressure canning, and I'll go over pressure canners then.
So, question, do you have, how much water did you put already in there?
Quite a lot. It's probably up to here. And so what I did is I brought it to a rolling boil and then brought the water back down. When you are canning, I have my jars already washed and in hot water soaking, because we are going to have a hot jam. We're gonna make a jam, and it's gonna be hot. So a hot food goes into a hot jar that goes into a hot water. If you have one of those out of sync, you can get thermal shock and it will explode.
Oh,
Yes, very important to have the same temperature. I was just watching a video where a lady had done her canning, everything was fine, and she put it on the counter afterwards. And the thermal shock had this boiling food with shattered glass blow up in her face.
oh,
You do not want to put anything hot on the counter, and you want to make sure that your jars are the same temperature. So next week when we do it, we're going to do a raw pack, and that's with cold food. We're going to be doing chicken next week. It's going to be cold food, and it's going to go into cold jars into cold water, and then so it takes longer for the water to come up and all of that.
So when you take the jars out of there, do you just let it cool?
What I'm gonna do is I have a towel set up over here, and I'm gonna set them on the towel, and they will sit here for 24 hours without being touched. When you go to store your jars, everybody sees food with jars with lids on them, right? You never store them with lids. Today is a great example. I didn't have any half pint jars, so I had to go find one that I already can. And so I picked this up, and I'm like, oh, okay, some salsa. And what else do I have? I said, what's that one? And I picked it up, and the lid was off. So this has to be thrown out. If I'd had a lid on here, a ring, I might not have known. It might have stuck because, food gets sticky. It might have stuck, and I would have thought this was safe, and it's not. So when you store them,
oh.
never have the ring on them. As you give them as a gift, sure, but let them know. And you can do things like this. Do that and give it a gift, but tell them don't store it with the ring on it. And these are called. This is a ring, and this is a lid. When you cool them, I've never done it written on them before a water bath. We might have to next week because we're going to try a couple different things. You are going to want a Sharpie. Thank you. Want a Sharpie to write on here. Once it's used, you don't want to use it again. there is a rubber seal here, and that rubber seal can wear out, and then you'll do your canning and it might not seal. I'm gonna tell you, the last couple of years, the seals have been horrible. First, we didn't have canning supplies on the shelves since COVID. And it was probably because of COVID. People started reusing them, and most of the time they work. But if you're playing around and it's not something you're trying to save up for winter, if you're trying to save up for winter, get new ones. If you're just like, oh, well, you know, if this doesn't work, I can eat it this week, then go ahead and, I'm not supposed to say that, but, you know. But people do. Commercial jars don't have the same canning suction, the same rubber thing. So they say don't use those. And when you do can, you want to use one that is specifically for canning, because I think Mason jars is just one brand. There's other brands, but because it's a thicker glass and it can handle the pressure in a pressure canner and the heat and all of that. So a commercial jar might not. I don't know what their processes are. So that's why you use these. So sizes. This is a half pint, and this is a pint. Half pint and quarter pint always have a regular sized lid, and I'm gonna pass those around. Regular and large size lid, wide mouth they call it. So you have to get the regular lids for the half pint and the quarter pint. But if you go to pint or quart, I'm going to recommend that you never get a regular mouth jar, because there are limitations to using this where there's none for this one. And so when I was first canning, I thought, oh, I'll get all these, and I'm like, wait, I can't even get in there to wash them. You know, I can't, if I do a meatloaf and I want my meatloaf to fit in here, if it's in here, I have to dig it out. Here, I can pull it out straight. So wide mouth is your friend. Half gallon size, they only come in wide mouth. We do not can with these usually. I have never known anyone, they don't make pots that are big enough, and it would be really rare. I don't think there are even directions for this. When you're canning and you come across following a recipe and it says use a half pint, but you don't have a half pint, you have, you know, something smaller than that, or a pint. Pints and quarts they do. So if you have a half pint or a quarter pint, you go with the next level up. So if you have this size, which is a half pint, and I have a quart, let me think, quart, pint, half pint. Okay, thank you. And I have times are only given in quarts and pints, and I'm doing a half pint. You would do it for the pint.
Oh.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there are no directions for the small ones. They only do quarts and pints and quarts. So you would have to do the pint, that time and that length of time and that.
So anything smaller than a pint, you treat it like a pint.
Yes, thank you. That's what I'm trying to
Okay,
say.
I'm just making sure that it's
And if
going in my
also,
brain.
if you have different, end up using different jars, like you still
Yes,
get the big
yes,
Mhm.
yes, thank you. So you can stack, remember? So what if I had all these on the bottom, and then I had room to put some of these, maybe even one of these on the top? Which temperature do I do?
You go with the quart.
You do with the quart. Yeah, whatever is the most restrictive, the longest, that's what you go with.
It's not gonna over-process the smaller ones, there's no over-processing.
It's not that much more time. It's really not. For pressure canning, the difference is 75 minutes usually for me, 75 minutes and 90 minutes. That might get, but it's just more tender, is the way I look at it. So that's equipment and some safety. Let me see if there's anything else I'm forgetting. In this elevation, we're 1,000 foot or less. You go with, when you're pressure canning, which will be next week, you go with 1,000-foot elevation. If you happen to move, you need to know your elevation and look up the guidelines for that. And that'll be available in the Dropbox. So, but elevation matters when you're canning. And if you're really in the mountains, your chicken will never brown.
Why does it matter?
Something to do with elevation. You have to cook forever to get anything to brown in elevation. I don't know what it is. It's something with the pressure.
And same thing with canning, it just.
Yes, it's a longer process.
Okay.
So, elevation matters. It's crazy. I told you that. The reason we pressure can. Oh, how pressure canning, how canning came about. You guys have all heard about Napoleon and the Napoleonic Wars. Their people were dying out there because they didn't have food in the wintertime. So Napoleon came up with a contest that whoever can find a way to get food to us wins this big prize, money prize. And someone came up with that, and they just went out of business in the early 1900s. They went that long. Like I used to know the dates, I don't anymore. But canning's been around since then. And for fun, I have these old ones that we don't go by. So every few years, the USDA will come up with new information and say, oh, this isn't safe anymore. There was,
I mean, mind you, our grandparents have been doing this for how many years now, but it's not safe anymore.
right.
So buy this new thing.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah. Buy this.
Buy this. So,
They have to make money somehow.
Somebody's
right?
gotta do it.
right. So what they do is they test recipes and say they only test it for quartz. They say only quartz is safe, never anything else, because that's the only one we've tested and we know for sure is safe.
And buy these quart jars.
Yeah. So that's what the USDA comes out with, and that, as a master food preserver, is what I'm supposed to be teaching you. Only follow approved recipes. If you go online, you'll find Rebel canners and Canning Rebels and Grandma's Ways and Temperatures, and people who have these share these online for the time and temperature for each thing, because people have mistrust of the government, kind of like me. But so if you get a hold of these, keep them for reference. But I would go with more modern recipes, just because things have changed. They used to can with olive oil, and there was a botulism outbreak that happened in 1910, I think, and so then the USDA came out and said, okay, we're putting guidelines in place, don't do this. So there are reasons, and if you follow one of their recipes, you are not going to die, okay? There are probably, what did I look up? There are probably 3 deaths per year worldwide from canning and people doing it improperly, and probably things like this where the lid came off. They don't explain how. Like, this could be horrible. I'm going to throw the whole jar away. I'm not even going to keep it. Usually, you would wash these out and keep them. I too keep the lids that are written on, but I'll be putting, my leftovers in here and stick it in the fridge instead of buying plastic containers. I use jars.
So
all
you
the time.
just can't reuse like the lid jars.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rings. The problem you're going to run into is how in the world do I store all those rings? Because you're going to end up with a lot of them. But save these, so long as they're not rusty and causing us not to seal, then you're gonna be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, reuse these. Let me see, what else?
And I actually just found the coolest thing. So my jars, the lids and rings and stuff that are rusty and gross, I found this little grid that it's a metal screen grid that comes in 2 different sizes. That's perfect for putting flowers in and stuff like
Yes.
that. And the flowers don't care if the lid's a little bit
Right.
rusty. Or like clipping my plants and stripping the leaves and putting the stem ends to grow roots to propagate them. They're fabulous for that.
See?
So
So don't throw
don't
them
throw
away.
them away.
See, I saw last night where somebody took like the old rings and took scrap fabric and made like a sunflower.
Oh, how
Mhm.
pretty.
Put burlap in the middle. Super cute. So there's
Super
always
cute.
a use for those things.
I'm going to go back. So, approved recipes, the USDA, of course, and any university, they do their own research, and they get money to do research, and then they publish that. Any university's recipes are considered safe, so you can do those. So, also anything by Ball or by Kerr, who are well known for canning lids and jars, those are fine. This one is not USDA approved, but if you look at the authors, they are people who worked for county extension services, who teach this sort of thing, and so I go by this one also. The book that we're using today, the recipe, is out of Georgia, so easy to preserve, and this is the one that I learned out of. So, it was a long course.
Does Alabama do a master food preserver?
I believe they do. I
Okay.
don't know if they do one locally though. It might be in Birmingham. Okay.
So I've done the cottage law thing,
Yeah.
but I
Are
didn't
you
know if they had that.
cooking? Are you selling food?
I am not currently. My plan was to do baking, like breads and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But my oven decided to go on the fritz, and I just got it fixed. So I may end up exploring that, but
Don't you hate that?
yeah,
Okay, I'm just moving stuff to get rid of it. We don't need it.
it was just the element, and I was ready to rip the whole thing out and throw it in the yard. And my husband was like, "I will fix it," and I was like, "You better." I'm gonna throw it away.
I want a gas one. I hate electric.
I told my mom that. I said, I want one of those old gas chamber stoves. It's like
Yes.
indestructible.
Yes. When a recipe calls for lemon juice, unless you're like making lemon filling, pie filling, they don't mean from a lemon. They mean commercial lemon juice. And the reason is because has a known acidity level, and what they're doing is they're changing the pH of your food. It doesn't hardly have any taste because you're not using very much, just like we did just a splash of vinegar in there. It's just a little bit to change the pH and make sure that it's in a safe range. Let's see. So, pH scale. So some foods can be water bath canned and others cannot, and it's all about the pH. And so, let's see. Bleach has a pH of 12, and stomach acid has a pH of 1, lemon pH of 2, tomato pH of 4. So you're going to want things that are on the lower end of the scale, which means more acidic. Like battery acid is down that way. So you want to have things like if you're doing green beans or tomatoes, there's a difference. You're going to have to add some lemon juice or vinegar to change the pH to make it safe. Otherwise, they will go bad. So that's why you want to use recipes.
So just because the books that I've read said you cannot water bath can this because the pH is not correct,
Yes.
that is not the truth. You just change the pH in it.
If you can change pH, but it will definitely change your recipe. So maybe it's something that, say it's pumpkin, and you're doing cubes of pumpkin, and maybe the pH, the vinegar doesn't penetrate all the way to the middle, so the pH in the middle is not the same as the pH on the
Okay.
outside. So it is for safety reasons.
Okay.
Will also change the way things taste. So if you're doing green beans, they usually do dilly beans, which are a little bit vinegary, right, pickly, and that's because if they didn't have all of that, it would not be safe to eat. It won't store on your shelf.
Okay.
So that's why that is. So high acid foods like fruits, peaches, applesauce, berries, jams and jellies. Sugar helps as a preservative. Vinegar and lemon helps as a preservative. And if you don't have that pH, then you pressure can. So if that's your alternative for safe foods. So I think we're about ready. Now I'm going to talk about this.
So higher acidity is typically okay with water bath, and lower acidity is
Yes.
pressure can.
So tomatoes are the thing that there's so much controversy over, because you know a tomato is acidic, right?
Mhm.
But is it acidic enough? Unless you are using pH strips to verify, add some vinegar, add some lemon juice, you know, follow the recipe that says add it. A lot of people say my grandma never did. It's not all tomatoes have the same acidity. Just like you use the acidity in the lemon juice bottle because it's a known acidity, where acidity off of a tree, it varies. It varies by variety and time of year. So that's why they say don't use a fresh lemon, use the bottled stuff where we know the acidity.
Okay.
One of the things I will say, like, you don't have to buy a pot, you can do a little one, but you are going to want a canning kit. I'm not opening this one, I'm planning to send it back, because this was $15 and it was like stupid ridiculous, it used to be $5. But what's in here is, what is this, what was it had in there? Tongs. Mine don't match, because I have so many different ones that I have little bright green ones and red ones, and so it's got the tongs, and what you do is you hold on the plastic part and you're gonna pick it up, and that's not going anywhere, and you guys can try that. Because that took some gaining some confidence to do. A funnel, because you're going to, it fits in both wide mouth and the small mouth jars. You're going to add your stuff into here. You're going to debubble it to make sure that there's no bubbles in the bottom. You're going to go through the food and get all the bubbles out. And then you're going to make sure that whatever headspace it says that you need, which is how much room, that you have that. These little things are amazing, because this is 1 inch, this is 3/4.
That's what that's for.
Yes. So this will tell you how much headspace you have.
Nice.
And I was told, yeah, so this, if you go to here, that's 1 inch, this ring here. But these rings actually mean something, and I don't really remember, but they are measured purposefully. So, but I don't really remember. So don't listen to me. Use this. So that's in there, and that's good, because then you need to know how much headspace. Because if you're going to do beans, like green bean, or not green beans, like pinto beans, they swell, right? You need to make sure that you have enough room in there.
I caught one of those similar, not, I think it's a Presto brand, at Tractor Supply last year, end of season.
How much?
Stupid cheap.
Super
I mean,
cheap,
it was
good.
very, very cheap, and it had the grippy things, the funnel, the debubbler, a timer, and something else in it. It was 5 pieces.
Wow.
So y'all definitely check like
And I
Tractor Supplies
got
and
the
stuff.
same kit on whatever the twice a year Amazon puts everything on sale thing, whatever that is. It was $2.99 for the kit.
Wow.
I bought
great.
6 or 8 of them, and it was Christmas presents to people,
Perfect.
you know, that year.
Perfect.
But yeah, it was super cheap.
You definitely have to have this.
Mhm.
Okay, I could use knowing that this is 1 inch, I could use a tape measure. I could use a chopstick, you know, to debubble it. But I can't stick my hands in hot water. So if it's not the annual sales or whatever, and you can't find them, and you don't want to spend $15, go to thrift stores. They have them. They're like, I don't know, here's 50 cents. But you need to have this one. To me, it's the most important. Today we're going to use pectin, and I'm going to tell you, I don't usually use pectin. And the reason we're using pectin is because I don't want to wait an hour for the strawberries to gel. When you cook fruit down, it gets thicker and thicker and thicker. And we do that all the time with blueberries for breakfast to put over pancakes. But we don't have that much time, so we're going to be using pectin. And pectin comes in liquid, it comes in packets, It comes in little boxes, it comes in big boxes, and it comes in jars. And these are Shore Gel, and this is a Ball brand. And so we're gonna use the Ball brand. It doesn't matter which one you have, you just need some pectin or thyme.
Time off a clock or time the spice?
Clock.
Oh, okay.
I thought the same.
Time
Yeah.
to let it,
I had processed it.
I did,
Look
yeah.
it up. Okay, so,
I was gonna say, what does time do? Like pH?
and we're gonna double this recipe. I don't think we're supposed to, but the directions on this say to get it to get to a jam, because we're making jam, not jelly. Jelly's made with juice. To get to the the consistency of jam, you go this long. But if you want it runnier, go less. If you want it thicker, go more. So it's very forgiving. So we're going to start with the recipe. And you want to measure out. Is this okay? Yes. 3 cups, and I would probably do 1 cup at a time. Wash hands. Thank you. This, if you get one that comes with this little wand thingy,
That was the other piece that was in it. I couldn't
Okay.
remember.
that's what this is for. So they've changed the way they do the lids, and it used to be that you had to simmer the lids to soften this ring. And so then you didn't want to stick your hand in
Right.
hot water, so this is what you would do. But they've changed them now, so you don't need to do that. At least the Ball lids have it. I never do that anymore because I also learned that when you raw pack something and it's cold, then I'm not heating this up because it would just go on a cold jar. It does fine in the water by itself without me having to heat it up first, so I don't heat it up. So it's gonna be we're gonna do 6 cups. Is that big enough? I don't need another bowl. Go ahead and do 3.
I don't think it's big enough. That's right.
3 cups, and then you're gonna mash them. Is that 3?
That's 3.
Okay, mash them and then we'll do another 3. And then you get to do the sugar. Okay, thank you. And I have a towel here. If you get tired, you can pass it on to the next person. Say next. And so you want save all the juice and the mashed fruit.
Where do you want me to measure it in?
Into
This?
that. Yep.
As she's doing it?
No, after she's
Or
done.
she's- okay.
Yeah. You think, is that mashed up enough that you are good with? That's how thick it'll be in your.
I feel like I'm in Granny's kitchen, you know? She's letting me do something, you know?
My mom taught my brother how to do all these things, and I'm like,
I'm hoping it comes back like most women, you know, I was just so little.
yeah.
You had this when you were little?
Well, that's why I said I felt like I was back in my granny's kitchen again. She's letting me do something. Like I watched her do all this stuff, but we both aged at the same time, you know, when she
Right.
kind of quit doing stuff by the time I was old enough, and then didn't really.
Yeah. But now my nanny is giving me all of her stuff. She's like, you're the only one that cares about this. And I'm like, yeah, I wish you would have shown me how to do it.
Yeah, what's bad is I moved into my grandmother's house like 10 years ago and we got rid of so many things.
Oh.
And now I'm like, regret see what I have.
So there was a whole rack of
And
candy
no, I
jars.
that I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, there was just like a rack of just jars at my grandparents' house. When my grandpa died, mom had somebody come in and clean it. Even if it was just dry storing, but.
Yeah. I'm saying.
I'm a jar holder.
Yes.
No.
Like Brandon is like, why do we have all of these jars? And I'm like, don't worry about it, in case I need it.
You should see my stepmom's house.
Is she a jar holder?
She is just a hoarder. But I'm telling you, her mantle has jars. Like, I'm telling you.
I'm so glad to hear this.
They're fixing to have an estate sale.
Ooh. I'll call her out and let me
I'll
know.
share it on Facebook.
Share it in our group if it's
Okay,
good.
I will. And when her and my dad are both hoarders.
Have a nap. Somebody else can have that.
I get to do sugar.
She has antique jars. She has antiques galore. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my goodness.
I know we have a little group me group, but you're recording this all right?
Yeah, will you send
And
this video in the
You
group?
can't upload a video that large in the group me because I've uploaded
I know,
videos.
but I can upload it to the Dropbox.
Oh, what's
That's what I was thinking too.
the Dropbox?
It's just like a Google Drive.
Do we have that too?
Yeah.
Or you could upload it to
Oh,
like
yeah,
she
you
put
could
all the
even do
paperwork
a
and stuff in.
private
Oh,
yeah. With the onions.
Oh, did you already
Yep.
send the info for
Yep.
that?
Nope,
Okay, thought I missed something.
I'll do it after the
Okay,
call.
cool. I was gonna suggest maybe just a little Facebook, like private group for
Yeah,
this.
that would be cool. That
Well,
would be cool
what's
too.
what's
Okay.
really neat, I don't know if you know this, but so I'm videotaping it, and then I'm gonna throw the videotape into a different app that transcribes the whole thing
Ooh.
Yeah.
in about 45 seconds.
Ooh.
And it even transcribes, it understands my voice is different than your voice, you know, and it timestamps everything as well. So you'll get like you can get a complete conversation, you know.
Yeah.
So like when I
Oh,
go,
this is gonna be in there too.
there, I have to look at my phone to tell you the name of it, which I'll tell you afterwards.
I used to work for a guy that did.
Is that good?
He did.
Okay.
He had like a course, and he also had a podcast.
So,
And I
since
was
we're
working on
doubling
the
this,
podcast.
we are going
Yeah.
to
And
add
we had an app that I would
3
throw the
cups
podcast
of-
to,
6
and
cups
then
of
I would
sugar.
just
So-
go through and like double check
Right.
everything.
Do you know to scrape the top?
Yeah.
My sister,
Saved me a lot of
my
time.
sister owns Millennial Magazine, and so she'll
Well,
send
leave this
me
so
all
that
over
I
the
can
country,
kinda mix
like
it.
reviewing resorts or restaurants or whatever. And they're always shocked when, you know, I
That was
just
pretty
turn on my
even, yeah.
phone and, you know,
Good
I
enough.
take pictures and stuff, but that's it.
That's my
And that's why
method of,
I love
Do you
that
want to mix
feature.
this up while she's doing
That's
this?
good enough.
I'm gonna go ahead and watch it as an anticipation.
Yeah, we should have all washed our hands.
Yeah, no problem.
That'll be next week. We'll be like, all right,
Let's
everyone,
go start
wash your
off.
hands. Wash your hands. That was
Hey, we all put our hair back. That's step one.
two.
My hair stays
Three.
with the thing
This
that's long,
kinda
it
needs to
stays
be
up
mixed
like
in
this.
Okay.
You're not going to be able to get that in there.
And then cut it all.
That was what we counted. I regret
That was
that so bad.
Do you have a
I like
whisk?
mine like short, like
Whisk
pixie
might work
cut
better.
short. I just haven't made time to
I don't know. I think I might get stuck in a whisk. This is probably.
I got it.
Yeah, you can
Ready,
take over.
Ravens.
Oh, okay. I was like, take over what? Stirring or?
Sure.
Okay.
With this recipe, do you have to use sugar or could you replace it with some other sweetener?
This one is a recipe with sugar. So
But you might can find another.
you can find a different
I'm
recipe.
gonna toss this in there. I want to get on you. Okay, that's
Um, and that would be,
I know that sugar is part of the preservative. That's kind of
Right.
why I'm asking.
they have,
See, Mom.
like,
Oh, I had it, don't wear my fucking earlier.
I know they have pectin that says for no sugar pectin, so if you were just,
Oh,
you can look for that. I know the pectin works with this. Let's see, how much? Okay.
And 6.
Oh gosh, you know what I haven't done? Because I have all the pressure.
Well,
I
that scared me.
need
Sorry.
to, I need to sterilize these jars and I haven't done that.
Okay.
When you're pressure canning, which is what I usually do, you don't need to sterilize your jars. But when you
Because the pressure sterilizes them at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
But these ones need to be sterilized. I just blanked out
How long do you leave them in there for?
10 minutes. Let me turn the heat up to get it boiling a bit more.
Do you have that sterilized setting on your dishwasher?
My dishwasher does not work.
Oh.
It's a new dishwasher,
And it doesn't work.
and it doesn't work.
What the
But
Sam hell's that
My
all about?
dishwasher doesn't work either, but mine is a 16-year-old teenage boy.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know of any like mechanic that can come fix that for you.
Yeah. There might be one out there.
I have a great appliance guy. He's amazing. He does not work on 16-year-old boys.
Like, here, can you fix
Yeah.
this?
So I almost forgot this step, sorry.
At this point, I think it's
Yeah,
just
I think there's plenty in there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, almost too small.
So now that you're in the middle of making something, I'm curious where all this food goes. Is there like a food bank that you take it to at the church or something?
We do not, because I don't make that much anymore.
Uh-huh.
Um,
I mean, from this class specifically.
this class is going to be going home with you next week.
Oh. Okay.
So, we are probably only going to be able to fill up, we're gonna be able to fill up the 12 jars of this and not, we're gonna have extra left over,
Huh.
and that can be used for like a pie or a pastry of some sort, so
Oh, that'd be a great pastry filling.
it would be a great pastry filling.
I'm just thinking that would be so good over some hot biscuits. Just
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
make-
Exactly.
Ice cream.
We're gonna be
Good over
doing,
ice
not
cream.
biscuits,
Oh,
we're gonna be
ice
doing,
cream would be good too.
so next week we're gonna be pressure canning, chicken. Does anybody know how to cut up a chicken, a whole chicken?
I'll let my
Yes.
husband do that.
Yeah, I'm not with the chicken.
Not with the chicken.
It is so much cheaper to get a whole chicken and cut it up.
It's also sometimes cheaper to buy it a rotisserie chicken.
Oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. A
It's-
rotisserie chicken at
under-
Sam's Club is
almost
$5.
Yes.
Buy me a
And the thing is,
rotisserie
at
chicken.
Sam's Club, they're still $5 no matter how big they are. And
Right.
they're huge.
Yes.
Yes.
Huge.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like compared to Walmart, and Walmart
Yes.
is almost $10
Yeah,
more.
it's crazy.
That's a loss leader. They do that to get you to come in. But
Yeah, it works.
I'm game.
It works.
I can stay focused.
Okay.
Get in, get out.
Yeah. I'm like, I just need a rotisserie.
So that's why I go to Sam's by myself.
Like
Cece
this.
always wants to go with me because she's like, let's go walk around and see what samples they've got. And I'm like, nope, we're after one thing.
And see,
I
I
make ramen
like
always.
Magnolia loves pizza, so I'm just like, okay, we'll go to Sam's and you can have
Jack
pizza
goes with
because
me.
we can
He's
get a
little-
pizza and a drink for
Cece's there too.
Yes, we did.
All four of
there
us
for
can eat for under
reasons.
$10.
Yes, that's another loss that they take. I'm certain of.
sorry,
And
that
the
one
trick
again?
is you don't take
Pizza
a cart.
and
My
the
husband
drink
goes in, he
is
grabs the cart. I'm like, no, leave the cart.
$2.50.
Leave the cart.
And that my kids split the drink and the pizza because
Yeah.
the pizza's
Their pizza is so
Well,
good
you can
too.
get the whole
They did it
pizza.
Yeah.
but we
Like,
just
$9.
go in and eat there.
Yeah.
And
I'll go
So
with
you're
all
gonna
for
take
it.
that
Take 'em
under
and
$10.
add it in.
Yeah.
We're
Whatever
gonna
has any
start.
left, I just put
to
it up
heat
and
it up.
they can eat it. Stir.
AJ knows
Yeah,
what I
we're
like.
gonna need to add pectin. So put
Oh.
as much as you can in with room to still
Well, she
stir
doesn't like
and add
pizza.
a couple tablespoons of pectin.
I think that
Oh, good.
It's
It's
kind of
got
better
all
for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, just, and I'm like, whatever, it's fine.
You want
I
the
thought you
spatula?
said-
That's what it's just.
Rubber spatula?
I
I got
think the pretzels there.
Saying,
Knock that off
there was like
there.
a time
Yeah.
where they had no pretzels.
Juicy.
That's not in, it just
Okay.
ain't wanting to come
Oh,
out.
Oh, yeah, I've had them too.
I thought that it would be
Okay.
just like a pretzel with like
Thank
Italian
you.
herbs and like Parmesan
Stick
cheese and
this
stuff
in
on it.
there.
No, they handed me a pretzel with like pizza toppings on it.
Yeah,
It was
except
like,
for like the
I was like,
picture
I
is
didn't
so
expect this.
it
It
is so
is.
misleading because they're like, oh, here's you some cheese and like 3 pepperoni.
No, it's like a whole thing.
No, they handed it
While
to me and I
that's
was like,
cooking,
what is this?
Yeah.
See, this is what I don't like about my.
Yeah.
so we need 5 tablespoons of pectin. Who's up?
And you just kind of get into
Real
it.
quick.
Yes, I'm going to. That's really funny.
Sorry, you don't have an apron
Okay,
is
yep.
because I was like, I'm gonna send my.
I've done mine, I forgot when you guys.
Where'd you get yours?
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's? I never, oh, I don't think I've ever been in one.
I need
I
to
go,
go.
if I'm in Huntsville, I go to Trader Joe's. I
I
just,
love Trader Joe's.
that's where I got
Do they
Is
keep them all
this
the
dish
time?
soap?
Yes.
That is brilliant.
It's like
Brilliant.
a quarter, maybe less of soap and the rest is water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant.
It's what they have, basically what they make in those spray bottles anyways.
Yeah,
Right.
Power wash.
So I don't ever buy those
But I
spray
will
bottle
say that
things.
power wash is
Right.
a magical product. I'm a firm believer.
Okay, so
I don't either,
is
but
this
it's
the
magic.
pectin I'm stirring in?
he's gonna measure it in.
Okay.
Okay, this is
Are
boiling.
y'all gonna get
Alexa,
that?
set a 10-minute timer.
I love that he got in on it.
Picture's better than me.
Yeah.
The
Alexa,
fun
volume
home
5.
with kids. Every-
Alexa, 10-minute timer.
Warning, Lisa. 10 minutes, starting now.
Okay, so
You cut the whole chicken.
while these are boiling and
Yeah. My
these,
husband does
this
that.
sauce is cooking and the pectin and the measuring spoons are right there. She
How
needs
much
5
Just start doing it.
tablespoons. It would be 2.5, but we've doubled it. And if you need hot pads,
No, I don't.
And I'm already weird about chicken anyway.
I'm not
I get
getting
So
like-
weird about meat in general.
Me too. And I'm just like, you know what?
The last time that I had baked chicken, I was still pregnant.
Put it right in. Yep, like you said.
I don't know. Well, I'm sick of pregnancy, but that right there was. It was so slime. Like even I was like, and I have not had baked chicken since. Like we were making this really good. Like it was a HelloFresh. We had gotten HelloFresh for a little bit, and then we like saved all the recipes, and now like, we reused the recipes. And it was like one of my favorite ones. It was an onion crunch chicken. It was like Dijon mustard and like the onion, the
French
yeah, French fried onions around it, and it was so good. And that time that we made it, I was like, something ain't right, something ain't right, and I just haven't since. And I was like, I really miss it, but I'm scared to eat it again.
Just calendar.
Kevin.
Kevin
Kevin plays a game with Alexa called,
Tip the package into your little thingy.
I noticed it's not sitting over here.
Like that?
Yeah.
Night Manager.
Yeah.
And it's a
And what I
game
would do
that
is I
was
would do it over the top of
created
here
for
in case you
people
skip a
who
little or
are
miss a
blind,
little.
but when kids
Yeah.
can't play, you know, games. And
It's
so
not
this
absolutely
is a
exact, it won't
one
kill
that
you.
happens in your head with Alexa.
I think
And
that's
so
great.
he's keeping track of where he's at.
Ta-da, perfect. Oh,
That was fine.
What's the game?
You thought the whole thing was?
It's called Night Manager.
night manager.
Okay, I'll take the trash. I'll take the spoon.
Yeah, the last few times I was at their house, I was sitting over here and I was like, what is
Lisa, do I
who's
cook this on a
talking?
high heat
What is
or a low
happening?
heat, or does it just
How does
rise?
it go?
Okay,
How
let's
does
see
it,
what
how
it
does the
says.
game, how does it
It
work?
It
just
says, so you're gonna stir
Until she was
in the
full.
pectin, bring to a full boil over high heat, stirring constantly. At once, stir in the sugar, oh, we did that already, sorry. I didn't follow the directions, this is how I cook.
Same. Yeah. I'm just out here winging it most of the time.
Until it can't be stirred down, so when a rolling boil that can't be stirred down.
Okay.
If you wanna turn it on higher heat, you can.
That one that can't be stirred up. Did you know that?
I did not.
See, I learned that. I remember that when I was in the kitchen with Granny.
The rolling boil?
Boil.
Yeah. My husband had asked me a few years back to teach him to cook, and he didn't understand, you know, what was simmer, what was chop, what was mince, what was, you know, all these things. And then for about 5 years, nothing I made turned out, and his were always phenomenal. I said, you stole my magic. And I've got it back because he doesn't cook anymore. But
You're benching.
he did, he stole it.
Brandon cooks about half the time, but when we met and started dating, he could make like spaghetti, like, and just noodles and
that's
sauce
me.
from a jar,
I-
just,
I
you know. But
You
he has
can't
actually
cook?
learned a lot of stuff.
No, my husband is the master cook.
So what happens?
I do have one in my kitchen, and it's mainly like.
My husband
I don't
thinks
have
he's
time
Gordon
to do
Ramsay
anything
is
else.
what's the problem.
Not one of
And I'm
those.
like, look, you do
My
it.
mom always made the homemade sauce. I
So
made
maybe he can be
homemade
the cook and
My
you can be
friend-
the baker.
She made homemade, but she would always use canned sauce.
Do you ever cook and he comes up behind you and he's just like,
Why would you do that?
No, because I don't
See,
do
I wanna get to the point where I'm like.
Literally, when he gets home
and
from work, I'm like, so what's for dinner?
So I'm just like, I don't understand.
What's for dinner, honey?
Why you canned sauce?
I
Oh,
mean,
that-
Which we have two small children too, so
so
like,
that's good.
I'm like, I'll take care of the kids for like 30 more
Does
minutes.
not make like stuff that I make like, we'll do like.
I
tacos
can't. We
and,
have
like,
a 7-month
things
old
like
and
that, but
I can't.
like it's like.
I don't know how to make them
Southern kind of stuff,
not
it's like.
be meaty
Mount
or have
Ag.
time for me to,
Right.
you know, cook dinner. Now sometimes I can, sometimes if things go the way that
Really?
I want them to go, but
You'll want that.
that's very, very rare.
I get that. When I brought my baby home from the hospital, I just thought, when am I ever gonna cook dinner again? When am I ever gonna get to cook dinner again?
I couldn't figure out how to go grocery shopping.
I like the grocery shopping.
Well, now we can do pickup.
I was
Yeah.
just like,
But,
spaghetti. You know, the traditional kid thing.
I could do the grocery shopping. I could
Sure,
figure
and
my
my
thing.
children, picture of
No,
and having a picture of camping with everyone.
You're dressing
Just
in
fire,
fire,
you know, are you
So my
sure?
daughter is,
Yeah.
she just turned 40, and her daughter just turned 2. And she's just the one, and she is an angel child. She lays all by herself, has since she was like 5 months old.
We didn't give her
She'll
that.
entertain
She ate
herself
all
for
those on her
45,
plate.
50 minutes at a time.
Wow.
Long enough to take a shower all by herself. Yeah.
So proud of
And
her.
my daughter,
I was gonna pick on
who
that.
is a firm believer in gentle parenting, which I'm just waiting for that to
Okay.
It'll be.
play it out. But anyways, she
Yeah.
tells me all the time, Mom, you don't understand. I have a child. Act. Child. Act. I have 5. I said, Jennifer, you've got one. She's an angel. And she's adorable. Everywhere you go, people stop and play with her and giggle and blah, blah, blah. What is the issue? You don't understand. I have a child. And it cracks me up. And I say to her all the time, I said, act, child, act. One, act.
But I do like sauce, meat.
It
but
kills
I
me.
hate all the things with it.
My toddler is better. My toddler will like help me cook.
Yeah.
He loves to like, he's like, I'm gonna make eggs.
That's nice.
And I'm like, go for it, dude. And go for it. I mean, I still help him, but like, he's like, his dad, my husband is a good cook, and that's one thing. He's a good cook. He's 9 years older than me.
Okay.
And he's got a lot of experience cooking. And that's what he's like, well, you just need to cook. That's why you're my good cook. Carrots, you need to cook.
All of these things.
Yes.
It-
I put carrots in
When?
mine.
How old are you?
Me?
Girl, I have to stop thinking too.
I ask Yolanda how old we're gonna be this year all the time. She's 6 months younger than me, so I'm like, how old are we supposed to be this year? But I can tell you what year she got married. Because that's Secret Magnolia was born and she was 6 weeks old.
My husband got married when Cece was 7 weeks old, and I was a bridesmaid. We didn't just go to Memphis.
Yeah.
It was so hot. She was going a lot.
I was the matron of honor and she was my bouquet.
That's
I hated her.
If you get bored of that, you can have somebody else take over.
But she decided to get fussy.
How long does that have to boil?
Until
Pastor's prayer.
it's a rolling boil that cannot be stopped. So when you
She was just
stir,
crying.
you know, sometimes it stops.
Yeah.
It
So then I
can't
just
stop.
took really
So that's how
But-
it
but-
goes.
You just yelled it because I was like, I don't want to just stand here. I don't know what to do.
Not once it starts rolling, once it can't be stopped.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I meant.
That's when you stop.
Okay. So once it comes to
So
the
like once you're
rolling,
stirring and it's still boiling, then you stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That it, when you stir, it doesn't stop boiling. That's how you know you're done. put this on the
You
table.
just gotta get it to a boiling boil.
The steam is hot. It's steaming.
Now
It feels
some
good
people
right
have, like,
here, though.
canning kitchens
Yes.
and sheds that are canning sheds.
I read a really fascinating historical article about 3 weeks ago about plantation kitchens. And if you've ever visited a plantation home, it's almost like they have 3 or 4 different sections of their kitchen, and that's exactly why. They would have an area where you did like butchering and whatnot. There'd be an area where you do all the prep work, making breads and doughs and blah, blah, blah. There'd be a pantry area. There would be the butler area.
I see houses.
It should be open, it's open.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like,
Do you guys? I might need you.
Yeah, I do. And a lot of the houses that we clean, they have butler's pantries or
Yeah.
butler's kitchens
Yeah.
or whatever.
That's what I want.
Half of them don't like use, they just have, you know, things.
Right.
Not
Well,
really.
but then again, we
One
don't
upstairs
cook
that
like
I-
we did
Yeah.
60, 70 years ago.
I know, to find a house with like a decent sized kitchen in it's ridiculous.
Like, you would
You
just not see,
can't
like,
anymore. You
water
almost
running.
have to either build your own home
Never.
or take out
Yeah.
the kitchen you got
I
and put it
have
on
to
the
say
kitchen.
she's a fake
Yeah.
chihuahua because
We have
she
a
doesn't
female
work.
toy.
I mean, I love that she has this peninsula. Like, I just have no counter space.
I have an island and it's massive. Like, it's probably
Yeah.
wider than this, but probably about this.
We have a big orange guy, and he just looks like, he just.
Alright, jars are
Jars
sterilized.
are
Alexa, stop the timer.
So I'm just gonna turn it down on low. That's that sound. And when we are putting the jars in, we're not going to have a full rolling boil. We're going to have a gentle boil. Come look, this is a full rolling boil.
And actually, I've got a gentle boil going right now.
Yes. And eventually we're gonna skim that off, but we don't have to do it now.
The frothy stuff on top.
Okay, now it's starting to boil,
I would
boil.
turn my heat down some because it's electric. It's not nice.
I'm scared.
Okay, and my boil is not stopping, so I'm gonna turn it off.
Is it full rolling
Full
boil?
rolling boil.
Work,
And actually, I'm starting to foam even.
Yep, you can push it off the burner if you need to.
There's all these different things you can do with them, like, that has like a thing that
Okay.
pops up, you can set stuff in there,
So-
close it, and it just.
It's made like in the 70s.
And like even older.
I'm going to go in this drawer right
I don't make
here.
them like they used to.
I'm talking about backwards in kitchen technology, like, I'm so disappointed.
And like, and the thing is too, like.
I want an
you can-
antique one.
I want like, I want an old kitchen.
Let's take my refrigerator. My microwave.
I wish I had my
Both still rock and
grandparents.
roll.
I wish I had my grandparents' microwave. I mean, that joker was, it was probably as big as the dehydrator, if not bigger. It had directions on it to cook a full turkey in the microwave. And it would fit. My grandmother was terrified of it. The only thing she ever did with it was like popcorn. She was
What are you
terrified
aiming
of it.
for? I'm gonna look it up. This is 206, you got it? Hold on. See if it gives a temperature.
208, no, 209.
Doesn't give a temperature?
No.
How bizarre. Just process it for 5 minutes once we're going. Okay. So you're done. You need to
Keep
go
boiling
outside.
up the
Keep
brand,
boiling for
yeah.
5 minutes.
It's just what we do.
Back on heat.
That's what
Okay.
David said something. He said, "Hey now."
It'll pick it to boil up real quick.
I did that one, and then he's like, "I knew you were gonna say." That. I was like, "I could have said a different one though." I said, "Hey now, this is the dreams." There are options.
Yes.
I have options. I just went with the more modern one that everybody else knows. It's like, you're not a girl.
Sure.
You would have known that one.
Is there anything anyone is really hoping to learn how to do?
Yes.
Cause what?
Yes.
Everything.
Because I know things, but you might want,
Is that a grain mill?
it is a grain mill.
I want to learn that. Like, I want a mill, and I've done all the stuff, all the reading, all the listening to things with it. but I have not cooked with like fresh milk flour. And I haven't
Neither have
bought-
I, 'cause
haven't
it's a
bought
brand
one
new
yet.
one.
Okay.
Oh, yay!
We can learn together. That's what I want to learn.
That's what Claire
I want to
does.
learn how to do sourdough. I had some and I tried, but I
I keep
So-
killing my starters.
well,
Salad.
I just finally chunked mine because I don't think I
When we do breads, we're going to be talking about sourdough. We're going to be starting a sourdough starter that you're going to go home and feed and take care of.
Something else
I'm
that they can
gonna-
take care of.
Yay!
Which is why I don't do sourdough. Because I forget the baby all the time.
Can I see a rag? She's got a
Yep.
spill over here.
I got some starter from.
You want
What was it? I think it was Alicia.
I was gonna say probably
I got some
And
from
it was
Krista. So good. It was amazing. And then I had my gallbladder removed. And I stuck it in the fridge.
recovering from that.
Oh, God, bless your heart.
It was rough. It was rough.
See,
Was
the
that not
gas,
the
I
worst
would have set
surgery ever?
myself on fire.
Oh.
That's why I just felt like I
And
was
I-
another mess.
See,
It's all sticky.
see
That's
it?
you see how
See the different colored,
I noticed that.
and see the smoke stains up there?
You had
The
fire?
glue.
Yes, my
And
husband
it's,
did.
I'm
Oh.
telling you, like,
Don't
Is
let
that
him
when you
put
quit
here.
cooking?
itching, full
Um,
blown, awful. Anyway.
There are special sponges when you have a fire. Do not try to do it yourself. Order them and wait. We didn't, and that now has to. The whole, all of this was black, and we tried to wipe right there. And I said, "This is not good." I said, "Stop." And so
Special
everything
sponges.
else was done with the special sponge, except that part won't come off. And so now we have to paint the whole thing, which probably won't happen for the next 20 years. I'm honest.
I didn't notice that. I just
I mean,
noticed the
you're-
different color and I thought,
That would be an easy thing.
So
That would be an easy thing.
it's taping everything off. that I
Oh
hate.
yeah. Well, if you cut in good enough, you don't have to take anything off.
Okay, you're hired.
That's what we do.
Okay.
We do house cleaning and remodeling, so
Okay.
I got you.
My dad is a
Slightly.
contractor and he's done all the things, so
Yeah.
like I love to paint and like I like doing the cutting in.
Oh,
I
It
don't
hurts my wrist.
I don't believe in
My granddad
I don't
does
believe in
does
finger
all the
steak.
remodeling stuff.
He's working as a remodeler. He actually helped install the stuff and do the backup because it was a random, different background back there. And he did, yeah.
1 minute left.
And for the longest time, she had a Merry Christmas thing. Covering it.
So this is still real boiling.
Could put in
And I
the
don't
pile
want it to
and
be
like
really
sand it
wet.
down. Put it out.
I couldn't decide if it was hot either. I
Can
kept
he
being
do
like,
it? Did I send you a message?
Normally I just I'll grab it with my
He's
nails
so-
and pull it
he's
over with my
actually
nails and
partnered
then I
with
don't feel
the
it.
guy
So
down there
see
doing,
this
like,
boil
major
here?
remodels.
This is about what we're gonna want. It's not a
Major
full rolling
remodels.
boil, it's a
Like
gentle
the one they're
boil.
working on now.
Okay, so this
Just a
is
bubble.
done.
Just a bubble. Okay, so then it says
Like
to
yeah,
take it
remodeling the house.
off the heat and,
He just did a tile the other day, so it was a regular fireplace, and it's actually made to look like stone tile, so it's
switch it
rated
off the
something,
heat
it's gotta
and
go,
skim
you know, certain
the,
pattern,
well, listen to
whatever.
us skim.
Yeah,
You're
all
up?
the way.
Sure.
Does anybody want to skim?
Yes.
Does anybody?
Well, he could,
You'll do it?
Has
Okay.
everybody done
she
something?
hasn't done anything.
I haven't done anything.
She hasn't done anything.
hasn't got
She
to
hasn't
do
done
I
anything.
haven't done anything but run my mouth. I'm sorry.
Here, we'll let you jar.
This feels like a very
Yeah,
important
honestly,
step
the
that I
only
could
reason I was
easily
asking
forget.
because,
Will it be okay though?
Yes.
It's foam.
It'll just look, yes. It'll just look
moving
even
it
for
so it
aesthetics.
does like
Stick on burn on the
underneath,
bottom.
pool would be wired, and the guy,
That's tricky. That's super tricky.
the guy was,
Trying
you
to
get too late for me.
do it on the side.
I need this done.
Yeah, he started back from work
So all you're wanting
Yeah,
is
it
the
does.
foam off of the top.
introduce them and everything.
Does smell good.
Yeah, I just want to lick that spatula.
Major remodels.
Mhm.
We've already got a
Again,
couple
but I'm
lined
gonna
up
wipe
for
it
next,
so that-
after we finish
Yeah,
this
that's
one,
good.
they're gonna be in Tanner.
Much so.
Every page says, remember to make altitude adjustments. Remember to make altitude adjustments on every single page. Like
Yes,
that's
it's that important.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, it's just like when you get a cake mix, and on the back it says if you're at an altitude of such and such, you have a whole different.
Right, probably. He looked like he was, did Kevin do so long?
Yes.
Okay. She needs to come,
You
she's
can have
gonna
no
go in there
light.
and
That's fine.
put it in and then come.
Just find one of those bedrooms back there. You'll be fine.
What kind do you have?
This is the Lansino, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's good enough for nothing to get. I can't remember. I think I had a
Hoping that the battery's charged.
Ryan yesterday was asking,
Really?
did he rest? Or he said, what was the first thing he ate before I could say anything else? And Ryan was like, oh, yeah, that's right. And then he was like, well, did I know how to do it?
After I washed them, and then I knocked them back together.
Yeah, I was like, but you were so big, there just wasn't enough milk. He was like, I needed 2 cheese.
I mean,